Hello, I'm Angela Princeville, and the question I'm answering on this segment of Ask AP is my wife is a fraud and a cheat. Can I get sole custody of our child? First off, we're trying to move away from the terminology custody, and it's more decision-making responsibility and parenting time. That's the terminology, but I understand the question. And really, it's just saying, well, I believe this is, the character that my wife has. These are not traits that, I that anyone, I guess, would even that anyone would want their child to emulate. So if that's the case, then should I have the primary responsibility of caring for this child to make sure that they're, outstanding members, contributing members of society when they grow up. And I know, like, I've packed a lot into that one simple question, but when you've done family law as long as I have, and if you even when you're a parent and all of that, you realize that there's more beyond the words. There's a lot of hopes and dreams packed into a child, for example, right? If you're a parent, you want what's best for your child. You want them to grow up happy, healthy, and we all have these positive expectations for children. And so it's a sentiment that I get all the time because um, when I tell my clients that a person's character to a large extent doesn't really have a lot to do with decision making responsibility and parenting time, it's usually very shocking, right? I mean, we all want our children to model good behavior and we want them to why then wouldn't we want them to be raised by people who kind of model the morals that and the values that at least as a society some standards are pretty objective. I mean, no one wants children growing up to be fraudulent or to be cheats. So that's a pretty basic sentiment to understand. um Whenever you're dealing with issues that involve children, first thing, or first and most important and only thing really is the best interest of the child. And it sounds so cliche, but you have to look at everything from those lens. So how do these affect the best interest of a child? I mean, under the laws, whether it's the Divorce Act or the Children's Law Reform Act in Ontario, there's a non-exhaustive list of factors and I don't I don't believe that we could stretch, a person being a cheat and being a fraudulent individual. I don't believe that that could be stretched so much so as to have them lose the rights and responsibility of being a parent. And I'm being very mindful there because I do understand the sentiment behind the question, but for the most part, except we're looking at, issues around family violence, for the most part, a parent's character really doesn't have anything to do with their ability to parent a child. So in the terms of cheating, for example, a person may be just a horrible spouse, but they could be a fantastic parent to the child. We also know of people through whatever circumstances that have lied and have even been thieves or whatever. Again, I don't get the full context of what this fraud is in this situation, but even in those circumstances, a person may still be um it may still be best for a child to spend time with that parent. It may still be best for that parent to be involved in making decisions for the child because the context of what they've done can be separated from their abilities as a parent. So the short answer to that question is it depends. It depends on you know how much you can tie that into the best interest of the child, but it can't just be a blanket statement. It can't just be the fact that your opinion on the person, right? So for example, if a person were a convicted fraudster, for example, and you're saying, well, should I guess so custody of the child? And I know I just use that custody terminology, but let's say that's the case. Um, well, could it if they're convicted, it might be in the child's best interest to be with the other parent, right? Because now, if that person is convicted and has to spend time away in jail or whatever, then of course the circumstances might be appropriate in this case. So that's why, as always, it depends. But I think what I really want to drill down is a person's character, just sort of in that blanket sense, and in that's based on the opinion of the other party will not in and of itself be enough to affect the parenting arrangement. The fact that you think someone is of, terrible moral standing, has no, whatever, we've heard it all, and I just don't want to kind of feed into that sort of terminology. But the fact is, um, person's character as determined by the other spouse is not enough in and of itself to affect parenting. Except, of course, we're dealing with issues around family violence, except, of course, those um, character flaws affect the best interest of a child in a very direct way. So, I hope in a roundabout way you have heard me. If I were to answer this question just based on how it's asked without context, without more details, I should say, yeah, I would say no. The fact that your ex is a fraud and a cheat is not enough for you to, be the primary care parent and have sole decision making responsibilities. It would not be enough. However, if there is more to the story, if there's factors that truly go to the best interest of a child, then that would obviously be something that we will consider, and that would definitely alter my answer. But short answer for now is no, it wouldn't. And yes, if there's more to that question, please let us know. If not, until next time, it's bye for now.